Those of us who understand Spanish do, but Donald Trump said it was terrible, it didn't reflect America, and it was just awful. We should never have it again. So Donald Trump, the man who is far and away the most un-American president we have ever had, looks at a Puerto Rican superstar, someone who actually represents the best of America at a time in which the globe sees our country as a cesspool, and understandably, Bad Bunny, who I think is the top charting global artist, has the most streams outside of America. This person who is representing the best of our country, talking about peace and love and the dignity of all people, bringing the Americas together, Donald Trump says, "You are not American." Well, Donald, wouldn't you know, a little bit of polling was done on who is more American between Donald Trump and Bad Bunny. And what do you think the result was for the guy who has been losing his mind so badly over his recent polls that he is threatening to rig the midterms? What do you think the result was? Well, let's take a look. Who better represents America? Yahoo and YouGov asked the respondents. Bad Bunny's 42%, Donald Trump 39%. So Bad Bunny, who the right spent weeks and months trying to tell us that he was not an American, somehow, Puerto Rican, American citizen, okay, is more American to Americans than Donald Trump, the president of the country. And I couldn't agree more. Bad Bunny is a much better representation, not just of America, but what America can be, what America should be, the American story. Donald Trump is not. And boy, does that have to hurt, that they lost the culture war. A year ago at this time, there were many getting off their takes saying that, maybe right-wing culture is dominant. There was that story in the New Yorker about the cruel kids table and how the right was maybe, creeping into culture. People were doing the Trump dance, right? Fox News was booming in the ratings. We had to get rid of woke and DEI. Maybe it was time that the right take over for a little while. And what happened to that? It fell apart because those takes were stupid. People were always going to hate Donald Trump. People did hate Donald Trump. There was a little bit of fog. Nobody could kind of see where things were going. Some of us knew what was going to happen, but anyone who bought into that idea that the right was all of a sudden popular and that Donald Trump was a culture shifting figure, he has shifted our culture for the worse. But that people would buy into Donald Trump and that things had changed, it was entirely a farce. It was never true. And Donald Trump and the rest of the right have overextended themselves ever since then, ever since that peak in their popularity, trying to hold on or trying to expand their grasp on American culture. And it has failed because they stand for nothing. They have no values. They are oppositional in nature. And nobody fucking likes them. Nobody likes Republicans. I can tell you that much. Not even Republicans like Republicans. Republican men prefer liberal women because Republican women piss them off so much. And Republican women, Megyn R. Kelly, Tommy Lahren, the gross Dana Perino, people at Fox, who wants to hang out with them? Even their Republican guys don't. They all love the liberals. Let's be real. Quite frankly, I'm not going to do this, but we're fantastic. I'd say we're much better. People like liberals. People like progressives. It's not a shock that people who hold real values and care about other people are maybe a little bit more popular than the bleach blonde slop served up at the Fox propaganda outlet. So they've overextended themselves, and they've lost the culture war, and they've lost it badly, and they're going to keep fighting, but it's only going to make them look worse. Because they're not popular. They're not. And I think Chris Hayes did a great job breaking down how that has played out in Donald Trump's favorite policy, what is quickly becoming his most unpopular, his immigration agenda.